Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing your daily Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the finale for The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 16, the first day of the rest of your life. We're going to take a look at some brand new pictures we got, and then we'll do some Q&A questions as per usual afterwards.
What should we do with the ones who won't subscribe?
Bring them to me. And as usual, spoiler warning, if you're not caught up for Walking Dead, that is up to the end of episode 15 for The Walking Dead Season 7. So we got a slew of new pictures, want to give my thoughts on them, then we'll get into your guys' questions. So first one, really sweet, got JDM as Negan, of course, looking wicked, looking cool, all right, ready to go. Can't see the bullet hole in Lucille there, so that's something. But out in the open, you can see the forest in the background. This almost looks to me like the spot where they could possibly see from the promo where a tree has kind of been cut down, it seems, and is blocking the road. This kind of looks to me like something like that, although it could be pretty close to Alexandria as well too, because they do have a lot of shrubbery in and around Alexandria's gates at this time. So we got that pretty cool. Then we have a rot. I won't call her a rat. I guess people get pissed off when I do that. We got a rot who's sporting a pretty wicked shotgun, so that's cool. Looks like they're on their way to Alexandria maybe, or maybe somewhere else. We'll see. And we'll see who Negan brings with him. That's something I'm interested to find out. Will Simon be there with him? How many men is Negan going to bring? What does this look like? I'm just really excited to see, because we know Rick has a lot. We can see them all in the promo, just a ton. So we'll see how many Negan chooses to bring with him, including a Rot, who's one of his, I want to say, like, higher ranking members, so to speak. Maybe not like a lieutenant, but she's pretty high up there in Negan's chain of command, so to speak. Then we also have this one of Negan with Eugene, which is kind of funny, and I think it's kind of funny that Eugene's actually bigger than Negan, just to point that out. But it's pretty funny. The hair game is looking wicked sweet. He's got his savior jacket on. Oh yeah, he's joined the dark side for sure. Negan is impressed. Chief of engineering, right? So it'll be interesting to see if Eugene is brought to Alexandria with the others. That could be something. And again, I'm wondering if this is close to where we see that tree that's gone down, and maybe they need their engineer to weigh on it. We'll see. We'll see what happens where Eugene ends up as part of this. But maybe it would be a good idea for Negan if he brought Eugene with him to Alexandria to use as leverage in case he has to, negotiate and everything. Because Eugene, of course, is a survivor. Then we have one of Rick that's on the balcony overlooking Alexandria's gates there, which is pretty cool. So there's that. Another one of Eugene here who has a loudspeaker, it looks like to me. It looks like a loudspeaker. What is he up to? Not sure. He's kind of looking around, trying to see who's watching him, that kind of deal. Maybe he's going to sabotage something. We'll have to see whose side he's on and whether or not he can give the our survivors a heads up or find some kind of ingenious way to let them know that Negan and the others are almost there on their way. We'll see. Another one of Rick, just kind of more zoomed out at the top of the overlooking post there. Pretty cool. And then this one, which is wicked cool and awesome and gross all at the same time. A zombie outside of, I want to say, Alexandria, based on the background. If you look at the background, you can see like the wall. But it almost looks more like something you'd see at the sanctuary, just based on how it's set up and everything. Oh man, it's so gross. It's so gross, and yet awesome at the same time. Oh my gosh, the Walking Dead creative crew is just amazing at creating just new zombies all the time. I'm not sure if this is Nicotero's creation, but most of them usually are pretty wicked sweet. So that's it. That's all the pictures we got. I'll put the link in the description so you guys can check them out for yourselves. And let's get into your guys' questions for today. And first question for this one comes from Kevin Means, who says, "Hey Trev, everyone is talking about the Junkyard Gang as being the possible snitch or little birdie, which it could be, but what do you think about the possibility that it could be Eric?" So Eric is Aaron's boyfriend, for people who don't know who we're talking about. And I did do a video on that one before. It was a couple months ago. I want to say after Lenny James did an interview where he talked about someone betraying the group. So and that was pretty big kind of news that he kind of let out there, but he didn't give too many specifics about what we would see or who it would be. But now us finding out about this little birdie or the snitch, so to speak, It definitely sounds like it's going to be a bigger betrayal than what we've seen so far with some of the, Dwight betraying Negan, that kind of stuff. I mean, we've seen a few little betrayals. Maybe Eugene not siding with Rosita and Sasha and helping them out in that case. So we'll see. I mean, Eric. I do like the idea that Eric could have been so scared that he could have, found a way to protect just him and Aaron, because it seems to me like really he cares about himself and Aaron, and he doesn't really seem to care about anybody else, right? Those are the only two people really that matter. So I do like that idea that he could be the one that snitches. But we haven't really. It doesn't seem to me like when would he have had time to do that? And of course, he does go out to the ocean side to try to get the guns. So if he had snitched, I almost want to think that maybe he would have brought it up to Aaron already or something and been like, hey, this whole Oceanside thing, forget it. Let's not even bother to go there. Let's get out of here or something. Or, kind of let him know in some way, because there wouldn't really be any reason for him to go to the Oceanside and do all the stuff they were doing if he knew that he had already told Negan about it. So it's possible that he could have, but it just doesn't fit 100% for me right now. So we'll see. Brett Alder says it's still Enid. So Enid is still the spy, right? Enid is still the snitch. With a smiley face. This is something that's been going on now for since we met the character. Probably, what was that? 2 years ago or something? With the wolves. When was it? Okay, maybe not 2 years ago, but it was a while ago. A year and a half ago or something, when we there was some big theories and stuff like that about that because of the wolves, and that people thought she was a snitch or an insider for the wolves, and then it became the saviors, and then I think that one we just have to let it rest as well. I don't know if she would have had time, because we always see her at the hilltop with the others. It doesn't seem to me like she's left. Granted, she is sneaky. She can climb walls and do that kind of deal, but I just don't think so either. I mean, when would she have had time to go and tell Negan, and why? She's been around since before the Saviors, right? So to me, it just doesn't make sense. At all. If she was going to have been a snitch, it probably would have been for the wolves, and she wasn't. Aimee Posh says, hey Trev, Q&A. Do you think Sasha will resort to using the necklace that Rosita made for Abraham as a weapon? It's been shown now in the last 2 episodes. You can see she's still wearing it when David ripped her shirt. Thanks, and love your channel. So I do think it's of some significance, of course, because of the triangle, love triangle between her, Rosita, and Abraham, and everything that happened with that. So it has been used quite a bit, you're right. Is it like a Herschel pocket watch type thing, like with Glenn and that, and Terminus and all that? Well, I don't know. I mean, is it possible she could try to strangle herself or something if she's going to do suicide? I don't know. I mean, I don't see how she could use it. How she could use it as a weapon, I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me. And of course, if she's got the poison, then she's got the means to commit suicide already, and we'll have to see if she decides to execute that, or if Negan, does something on the way and she ends up dead somehow. So we'll see. But either way, I just, I can't really see how that could come into play. But maybe you're right. We'll see. Maybe you're right. Maybe it will come into play and be important in the finale. So we'll see. Slizzle22_90 says, is still worse, so the episode still for The Walking Dead, is still worse than every episode of Game of Thrones, and is No Way Out better than every Game of Thrones episode, in your opinion? So No Way Out, the best episode of The Walking Dead ever, still probably, at least for me, No Way Out is the best The Walking Dead gets, still is the worst. So you want to compare those two to Game of Thrones. So do it real fast. Still is worse than any episode of Game of Thrones ever? Yes, it is, I would have to say. I don't think there's an episode of Game of Thrones that's that bad. That's all there is to it. I didn't care for Still at all. No Way Out is my favorite episode of a TV series of Walking Dead ever. It's really hard to compare that to Battle of the Bastards, and it's almost not fair, because Battle of the Bastards and some of the other episodes Game of Thrones have had, I mean, the budget is so huge, they're so crazy, the runtime's longer, and you don't have to worry about commercials, so they don't lose momentum as much with commercials in between and stuff like that. Battle of the Bastards might be the best episode of a TV series ever. And the finale after that, too, was incredible as well, Winds of Winter. But Battle of the Bastards might be my favorite episode of a show ever, too. I mean, that's really tough to say. You know, Walking Dead is my favorite series ever, but I can clearly see, you know, if I take my bias out of it, that Battle of the Bastards, Game of Thrones is like, you know, and some of the other episodes, too, are better than No Way Out. But again, it's not fair because they're longer, they have more runtime, and they put $100 million into Season 6 for Game of Thrones. The Walking Dead will never get that. I mean, it's just a different model. People have to pay to get HBO. It's totally different. So there you go. In that category, I'd say Game of Thrones wins both of those comparisons for you, Slizzle. And again, I love Walking Dead. That's not what I'm saying, but I can't be biased about it just because I love Walking Dead. I have to be more objective, as objective as I can with regards to a comparison like that. Jennifer Richardson says, Trev, what the hell are we going to do during the hiatus? OMG. So it's going to be a long one this year, I think, because Season 7, like, it was a slow burner. Like, it took a while to get rolling. Now it's rolling, and the season's over. It's like, damn it. We got one episode left, man. Like, I'm just getting back into it, and it's over. Well, at least I got into it, and I know a lot of you guys did too in these last few episodes here. We got back into it again, and I've been enjoying it as much as we usually do for Walking Dead. I think for me, at least, I'm enjoying it as much as I usually do. So at least we did. At least it wasn't like the whole season was a drag. The finale looks really good, too. So Season 7 might end up actually being a pretty good season after all. It might not end up being that bad after all. Even though a lot of people complained and viewers dropped off, ratings went down, stuff like that. But during the hiatus, you know, we got Fear the Walking Dead this summer, returns in June. So heads up for that. Looking forward to that. I'm still going to be making videos all summer with you guys, discussion topics, all that kind of deal, updating lists and things like that. So lots of fun. You know, I'll try to produce all summer for you guys like I did, you know, the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years now. But, you know, there won't always be that much for us to talk about. So we'll do comics, we'll do all that kind of stuff, Walking Dead comic series and some other shows. Mr. Robot during the summer I like to check out. Better Call Saul's a fun one. Gotham's fun. You know, Game of Thrones. So we're reviewing all this different stuff. But yeah, you know, I mean, I have more passion for Walking Dead than any of those. So it's just my favorite. So this is my favorite time of the year for TV for sure. Once this is over, there's going to be a void. But it won't be too bad because at least we have Fear now and some other series too. Andy G says, what do you think was Tara's reaction when she saw Dwight? The same man that killed her girlfriend Denise back in Season 6, Episode 14, twice as far. So that's a really good comment. I hadn't even thought about that, about Tara's reaction, but does she even know that Dwight is the one who pulled the trigger? Like, does she know that? Did they tell her that? I'd have to look back at the episodes. But I don't know if it was ever mentioned to her when she returned this season that, hey, she was killed by this guy named Dwight. You know, she knows she was killed. She knows that she died at the hands of the Saviors. But I don't know if she knows that it was Dwight. So her reaction might be, you know, mute. It might not be anything, a moot point. Because she might not even know that that's who killed Denise. She might not even know that. So, yeah. So if she did know that, though, knowing Tara, she'd probably want to attack him and beat him up a little bit. Granted, she probably wouldn't do too much damage. I mean, half his face is already two-faced and everything, right? So how much more damage could Tara do? Maybe smack him around a little bit. You know, that kind of thing. So that'd be funny to see. But we probably won't see that since it looks like the finale is going to be packed already. Luke says, what do you think Negan's actual name is? Because I don't think a baby popped out of someone and they decided to name it Negan. I'll counter you with this, Luke. To get someone like Negan, I think you need somebody crazy to pop out somebody named Negan. You can't, you know, the apple doesn't usually fall that far from the tree. If Negan is that psycho at this point, he was kind of crazy too before the zombie apocalypse as well. He was kind of nuts even before. You know, usually, you know, maybe his mom was a crazy bitch. I don't know. No, sorry. I like the name Negan, right? So I don't know. To me, I've always thought his real name was Negan. It seems like that's what it is to me. It's all I've ever heard anybody in the comics or TV ever refer to him as. So, yeah, and he doesn't need a last name. He probably has one, but he doesn't need one. Just Negan is good, you know. Yeah, I'm good with that. So I'd be happy if he never had, you know, if that was his name and that's it. Benny Cooper says, hey, Trev, did you catch the look Carol gave Ezekiel at the end of the sneak peek? Definitely looks like something is brewing between them. Going into battle together? Yeah, you're right. And also, too, Ezekiel is so fun. Like, you see the speech in the sneak peek? If that's not one of the best sneak peek speeches I've ever seen. I mean, that's awesome. You got the tiger, you got all this stuff going on, and, you know, he's just, Ezekiel's awesome, man. I mean, how could you not like Ezekiel? And the last one will be from Dante Taj, who says, sorry for the length of this one in advance. I believe that the season 7 finale could quite possibly be the best finale in The Walking Dead history. Alana Masterson, the actor who plays Tara, said in an interview, "I think for all of us, when we read the finale, we were all, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It blew me away. I was really excited. It was super fun to shoot, and if they hadn't taken 15 episodes to set it up, it would have been, oh cool, whatever." Many of the cast say in interviews that if season 7 hadn't been as much set up and admittedly as boring as it was, then the payoff in the finale in season 8 wouldn't be as good. What are your hopes for the finale and thoughts on all of the setup in this season? Was it all necessary to make the suspense for the finale in season 8 that much higher? And do you think we are in for one of the best season finales ever? I think we are. I think we're in for one of the best season finales ever. And I think with season 8, more specifically, we're probably in for the best season ever. So that's what I'm most excited for. Is this finale should be great, but next season I'm hoping surpasses season 6 as my favorite season ever. I'm hoping season 8 is like all out war and the season to beat. So yeah, there was a lot of setup this season. There was a lot of change, a lot of new things in the story. It's kind of like the way the season 7 premiere starts. It starts at an ending, and then we get a new beginning, and all this new stuff is set up, and everything is kind of coming together. But this is what they need to do for the long-term health of the show. They need to have a lot of communities and characters and make it bigger and bigger. And I think The Walking Dead is bigger than just a simple survival horror. I think that what Robert Kirkman has created is the most interesting zombie apocalypse universe ever created. So for me, I'm really excited for this finale. I think it looks amazing. It looks really, really good. And I'm even more excited for season 8. I'm really, really excited for season 8. I think it's going to be the best season they've ever done. So I'm hoping so. So we'll see. But yeah, a lot of setup this season, but I'm not feeling negative about it at all. I'm just like, you know what? It's good because we need to have that. We need to care for the characters, and we got a lot of new characters. And like Ezekiel, for example, I really like Ezekiel. I look at him as like probably a B-list character right now, and he's just came in this season. He's like brand new, but he's so cool, and maybe Dwight too. That these are top characters now. If they get killed off, it's a big deal. It's not just like somebody we just met like Milton or somebody and is killed off, and who cares? Even Milton I did like actually too. A lot of shows will do stuff like that. The Walking Dead does a good job of making us care for characters before they meet their demise or what have you, whatever their fate is. And that'll be it for today's video, guys. Write in the comments below. How are you feeling about the finale? Are you excited? Are you hyped for it? It looks really good, man. I can't wait to see it. If you like this video, please thumb it up below. You can also share favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, click that damn button bottom left to sub. So for this one, see you guys again tomorrow for another. Trev, saying peace. Later, guys. See ya.